cover would be one, and the fifth one is cover cutting tool. Container is the other one. So basically everything that I have has at least one of those, if not multiples. Calories is always a big concern. And I'll just go through here and kind of show what's in this one. I haven't actually been through this one in a while. And I really kind of did that on purpose. I didn't want to go through here and have it all set up perfect where it was going to be like a video, because it's a learning thing for me too. I have a Ranger handbook in here, and that is actually, I don't know how old this is, but I've had it a while. I've got writing stuff in here. I've already taken notes on here. I had kind of small class on edibles and stuff like that that were local. So I drew some of that stuff up in my little book here, and then I just had this to writing. I mean, you never know when you're going to have to take notes of what you're going to need. I chew tobacco, and most of these have, since I'm repurposing them, most of them either have a fishing kit or a fire kit or something else in it. So let's see. This is a lens that I pulled out of a broken for starting fires. All kind of stuff. Cordage, extra headlight. I've got some hot hands in here. Let's look at a bigger section here. Container. First aid kit's in here. No telling what's in here. It was coffee. Now it's old Cliff Bars. But it's another container. It's an option for cooking, for boiling water, whatever it may be. Let's see here. This is either a cook stove or it may be some dried cooking goods. Yep, that's some calories. If anybody has any questions or input as we're going along, feel free. Another container. I don't know that this one has a, I think I was back then thinking more of boiling water than filtering water, because filters were very expensive. They're obviously not as expensive anymore. You can get a mini Sawyer for next to nothing, 20 bucks. So container heavy, it appears. Toilet paper, matches, multi-use things. This is a cook set with a burner. Now all this stuff is heavy. Again, this was my first setup, and it hasn't changed much. Instead of improving it, I've just changed basically the way that I do things. So there's all the cooking stuff. I believe there's an extra knife in here, maybe a can opener. Matches or lighters. So I mean, that's kind of basically, that was my first kit, and it's by the book to a degree, minus a water filter of what everybody suggests that you should have. Now as I've moved along through the years, I broke some of this out and made a second bug out bag that would be companion friendly. It's a little bit lighter. It has a water bladder, and it basically has all of the other things that are in there in a reduced form to make it much lighter, much easier to carry. This bag here is kind of my multi-purpose. I take it hunting, but it has everything else in it as well, but I think it is bullet rich. This is a IFAC, and it has extra like blood stoppage, quick clot, and that kind of thing in here. But really,
quick clot.
Yeah.
I got a friend in the Danish military. He had a medic that went blind because they poured granular clot into a wound. The wind blew back on them, and it went into the eyes. I never thought about that. That's something that is worthy information.
Now what I have.
They're using the impregnated bandage.
Yeah, that's what I have in here are the regular Academy, the clotting sponge. So it doesn't, it's not a raw powder.
Right.
So you know, this along with an ace bandage or something. I mean, that was my plan with that. But really, what I do for a living is I drive all over Atlanta. I have a pest control company, so I cover I could be 10 miles from home or 60 miles from home. So for me, I had to scale back. Bugging out, I can reassess once I get home. I can get a different bag. I can do things. So for me, currently, it's more important to get home than it is to bug out. So all of that has changed. I made a little bit more of a modern bug out kit here. It's basically got everything else in it, everything that I've showed you already, just a little more modified, more up to date, fire strikers and stuff. But my get home, there's calories. This is a winter bug out, so I've got a jacket in here and some more clothes, socks, that kind of thing. But it's a little more of a fall bug out. I've got a way to prepare some wood there. I usually have a fixed blade knife on me in my truck. For many of you, I don't know what your situation is. You know, if you work near home, you may have to have some kind of get home kit, depending on the scenario and what's going on. That may be more important. If you're bugging out, I mean, if we're all lucky, we're home when something happens and we get to just bug out from home, but I don't think that's going to be the scenario. So everybody kind of has to personalize their own thing to their own situation. If you have medical needs and you have certain medicines you need, you may want an extra prescription of that to have in your set so that when you get going, you have that. But what I carry now in my truck is this little bag. It's got some calories in it. It's got a change of clothes in it, but it's kind of, I mean, it's Atlanta, so it's defense heavy, if you want to put it that way. There's a lot of ammunition. I carry that along with this in my truck. It's more of a battle belt with an IFAK on it. Now my table's not big enough. And then I also carry, and this is something that some of you may have interest in and some of you may not. I also carry, this is the level 3 steel plates. So this is something that I carry with me every day in my truck. It's always there. Along with, I have a AR pistol and anything else that I may need. So anybody have any input? Anybody have any questions? Anybody want to share their bag? Yes, sir.
So I carry body armor too for the same reason. And the thing is, depending on what, can I just stand here for a second? I talk better looking at people. Something you may want to consider is if you're going to carry tactical gear, and you know, I think there's a need to carry tactical gear, is to whatever size you normally wear coat, buy a windbreaker that's like 2 sizes bigger, because picture law enforcement doing their job. There's chaos reigning, things are going on, and here comes some dude or dudette looking like a guerrilla militiaman or whatever. They're not going to like that. Right? And they're probably going to relieve you of that stuff at a minimum. And so if you could just take like a blue, you know, whatever the team is, Tennessee Titans or whatever, windbreaker, you have to make it big enough so it fits over your gear, and then you're just polite, you're yes or no ma'am, you know, whatever. Same thing with these bags right here. With, you know, you got your mags on, and I get that. If you could get like a gray rain cover, you know, like a tire cover thing, and you just put that over it while you're going, now you just look like a regular guy going, right? And there's a difference, and tactical people and many cops are tactically minded. There's a big difference between something this color and something that's like mossy oak.
Right.
You know, mossy oak camo looks like you're a hunter, right? Okay, well, everybody here is a hunter. I mean, you know, we all go hunting. But when you start wearing tactical gear, it starts making them think about you. And so it's just something to think about. It's like hiding your bug out status.
Absolutely. Good point. Yeah. So, I mean, that was also, you know, I have different bags here. This is going to be worst case scenario. So, yes, I feel like you need to cover it up, absolutely. But I feel like some of this, in my mind, is going to be almost, it's past the point of that's the concern.
Right.
But I completely agree. Having a larger jacket or something that I could wear over it would be beneficial. Now, Zach, do you want to talk about any of your stuff? Or? Sure. Maybe what you got?
If I may, real quick, before I go into this,
if
I may segue out to something Pastor Fox said. He talked about forming relationships and meeting people and whatnot. Sometimes, a lot of times, we get this idea that we've got to find that unicorn, And we got to find that perfect person who matches us and our family exactly perfectly. You know, and I'll get a little awkward here. Look at David and I. You know, my wife wears skirts and head coverings. His life is kind of glamorous and whatnot. We might not actually, our lifestyles might not dovetail exactly. We don't have to dovetail exactly in our lifestyles. We have to agree in certain basic things, and we have to be willing to work together and spend a minimum amount of time together. They can go home and they can say, did you see what she was wearing? I guarantee you when we leave here, we will say that about Mrs. Nick. Did you, I'm kidding. Did you see her? I'm kidding. But the point is, you're not looking for that perfect person, that perfect family that you can move into your house and there'll be zero friction. You didn't find that person when you got married, you know? You're looking for a family you can spend a couple hours with a month, you know? And when things get really stupid, then you guys can cooperate and work together. And so many times, and I've done it, and I've had other people do it. I've felt a comment on my channel, I can't find anybody I can trust. Well, no, that's not true. You can find people you can trust. You can't find anybody that you've got Walt Disney magical feelings about, and that's not what we're looking for. I got one of my good friends here is the prepper librarian, and since we're filming, I won't use his name. But this is a highly educated man with this high-powered, you know, high-paying white-collar job, and I'm a little goofy construction worker. And we're in completely opposite stages of life, and he's got all this energy and he does everything, you know, to the nth degree, and I've got no energy and I do nothing at all. But we work together really, really well.
You do know the line of sin, right?
I'm honestly not lying, Sasquatch, I promise. So on the surface, we don't look like we work, but we work really well, and we see each other at least once a week, usually at Sunday school. We go to the Sunday school class together. That's actually where we met. And I've called him before and said, hey, I need help. And he's like, okay, and he's there. So, you know, don't look for that perfect match. There's not a perfect match. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have gone off on that rant. I am not a bug out guy. In fact, Pastor Fox has scolded me a little bit about that in a video. But my big thing is the militia. Every man is responsible. God, this thing is so heavy. Every man is responsible for the safety and security and the freedom of his and those around him. And you can't outsource that to bare minimum wage employees. You know, just because they have a nice blue uniform and shiny badges doesn't mean that you can outsource your family's freedom and safety and security. So this is my Minuteman loadout. This is what I go grab if I ever got to function in my primary role as in the general militia. It's pretty simple. It's based off of what I carried in the Marine Corps. This is a Y harness. We used H harnesses and LBVs, but I got this one for free, so I decided to use it. I got my butt pack. I don't put a lot in here. I don't have gloves, which I need, but basically I've got 2 days rations, beans and rice, which is not a great option because they have to be cooked. You prefer to have something you don't have to cook. But basically a pound of beans and rice is basically a day's ration for a full-grown man. Not quite. You could starve to death on that if you're doing a lot, but it'll keep you going for a little while. I got my very basic first aid kit, nowhere near as high speed as David's. I need to upgrade my first aid kit. My fire starter stuff, and that's pretty much it. I got my food in here. That's 2 pounds. That's 2 days of food. If you're just trying to keep body and soul together, so think about that. You know, if we actually had to bug out with the whole family, there's what, 9 of us in the house. We need 9 pounds a day. So if just 2 days, you're talking about 18 pounds of just food. You haven't even touched water yet, which is actually more important than even the food, really. Weight is a big deal. And then I've got the usual little stuff in here, my 550 cord, and that's a lot of 550 cord. That's why I couldn't find this last time after we were trying to make a bow drill to start a fire, and I couldn't find my 550 cord. And that's pretty much it. There's some, tape. Electrical tape is really useful. So I can grab this and go, and obviously this would be paired with my rifle. I have a real simple basic AR-15 with 20-inch barrel. I've got the integral carry handle. I don't like those removable carry handles. I know there's a high-speed, low-drag operators. They can do that. I'm not a high-speed, low-drag operator. Look, I got dad bod, you know? Those things can come loose, and I might not check it, you know? I might come back from the range. I might have taken it off at the range to play with the guy's optic and forgot to zero my carry handle back in, and now I don't have iron sights. I like the integral carry handle. It's just simpler for those of us who aren't going to be Rambo. And that's pretty much it. The other thing I did, I've got my, I'm a silly guy. I've got my old Moonbeam. This is a terrible option. I mean, this is probably 2 pounds by itself.
Nostalgia will get you killed.
Yeah, no, it's silly. If I had a brain in my head, I'd have a little one with an LED bulb. Yeah, this is a club. But I just like this. It was given to me by an old Vietnam vet who I was real close to, and after he died, his widow gave me all of his old gear. And this was his, and it's silly. I shouldn't be carrying it, but I like it. And then the other thing to keep in mind, and Pastor Fox, you might know this better, but you know how much ammunition carries? How much it weighs? I'm sorry.
I know it. I do this with people when they have their kit and they show up on an event and I'm like, are your magazines loaded? No, load them up and now carry it. It's heavy.
It makes a significant difference if you've never carried your
6
gear.
loaded magazines is different than 6 empty magazines.
Yeah, it's about a pound of magazine.
Especially 7.62.
So if you've never humped with your ammo, now you got your ammo, you got your food, you got your water. And you need a lot of water. We were talking last night, we were telling old war stories, and I talked about a time in the desert where I drank 5 gallons of water in one day. Now, it's the desert, obviously, but 5 gallons of water in one day. You drink a lot of water. So that's me. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a bug out guy. I'm a militia. I'm not a militia man. Yeah, we're all the militia, but that's my big thing. I want men to recognize what their calling is. Their primary function as men is to protect and build and serve. And you don't get to outsource that, and that's what my gear is set up for. Because of the size of our family, if it ever came to a bug out situation, a bag just ain't gonna cut it. You know, a bag's not gonna get us anywhere. So that's me for right now. Sir.
Yes, sir.
Can I follow up on your stuff?
Please, come on.
Since you've already mentioned
Were you gonna say something, Sister Kate?
I will after he's done. Let
Okay.
him do his
Sweetie. I'll try and be quick. Okay, greetings folks from the Prepper Librarian. I want to follow up on what he said because we're sort of brothers from a different mother. But I'm going to give you a twist here. I don't know if anybody else has told you about this kind of stuff, but I've got 2 basic bug out bags, or get home bags, more likely. One is tactical and one is non-tactical. This is wilderness one here. I didn't bring the tactical because I figured you guys were safe to hang around, so I didn't bring that stuff. But here's my logic, and you tell me if you like it. I'm going to describe it. You can live for 3 seconds if you're in an unsafe place, where bombs are falling, guns are shooting, floods are coming, earthquakes and volcanoes and all that mess. So the key is do not ever go to an unsafe place if you can help it, because that's your worst chance of survival. In order to make sure you don't do that, my bug out bag has map, solar radio, so I can keep in touch with what's going on in the news and where they're dropping the bombs and where they're heading, and then cell phone, so that you can communicate with people, you can find out where the dangers are, you can stay away from them. Simple rule is, anywhere there's people, get away. The more people, the worse it is. Okay, so number 1, get out of danger. 99% of the people that get injured or dead is because they were at the wrong place at the wrong time doing the wrong thing. So the best thing you can do is keep your smarts and stay away from everybody. Second, you can live for 3 minutes without air or your blood flow. So you've got to have a tactical medical kit with the right medicines and the right gauze and the right bandage and everything else. And you got to have a gas mask. I didn't put my gas mask in here, but believe me, there are times when you're in a riot and they're shooting tear gas, or when you're anywhere where the military is and they want to take care of you,
You gotta have a gas mask. They're not expensive. You can get them for 12 bucks online. Okay, so you gotta have clean air, and you gotta have your blood flowing without oozing out all over the place. All right, you can live for 3 hours without shelter in a harsh environment. So we got the solar blankets, we've got rain gear, parka, anything to keep you warm in a cold place, or figure out how to keep cool in the shade in a hot place, because you do not want to get your body temperature out of whack. You can live 3 days without water, so I got the little filter you were talking about. I've got a couple of them. And you can also boil your water, and you can do some other things. Water is going to catch up with you a lot faster than food, so I don't carry a lot of food. For one thing, food can be found. You know, you can either hunt or fish or forage or farm, and all of those methods are available in this kind of wilderness out here. And if you've got the necessary items to help you hunt and fish and forage. Now I do have to show you something from the prepper librarian part of it here. A lot of people don't do this, but I don't know if y'all knew this, but you can get tactical clipboards to put in. They're about $100. You can put them in the front or back. I was shopping for protective stuff online, and the kids have the backpacks that are bulletproof, and the expensive people have the suit coats, you know, the rich people. President Trump, I'm sure that long jacket he's got is bulletproof, you know, the long suit like that. You can get Air Force jackets, you can get jean jackets, you can get farmer jackets. All that stuff is bulletproof. It doesn't set the police off because they can't tell. So, but you can get these too, and they're not expensive, and put them in here with your other stuff. But now this is very minimal. I've got a whole library of stuff, but this is fishing skills. You got poisonous plants. You got guides for what you can eat, what you can't eat. Just some waterproof kind of cords that will help, especially if you've never been out there for a long time. Okay? Wilderness travel medicine, edible wild plants. My wife's part Cherokee. Don't tell Warren, Elizabeth. she's a quarter Cherokee.
He's real Cherokee.
And down here, the Cherokee are the ones that knew how to live off the land and find the animals and trap and do all that kind of stuff. And I also have lock picking. Now, a lot of the United States military manuals are survival, evasion, and escape. Survive in the wilderness. If they're chasing you, you got to evade them without leaving a lot of tracks. And escape means if they caught you, you got to be able to. I carry a handcuff key and all my my keys so that they can, you know, you can get out of those. There's ways that you can get out of all kinds of other stuff. And then of course you got your little can opener here. But you got to have the information to know what you're doing. Then you got to have the tools to be able to do it. Here's the little Sawyer thing here. Filter. And I'm not going to show you all the stuff I've got. A little shovel. A lot of people don't think about it, but you know, you got to take care of what you're doing out there. So, and the military always had them because they were digging into the dirt to hide from the enemy, stuff like that. You can get these cute little survival kits online already pre-packed with fishing, you know, stuff. If you have to go at night, I like these things on your head because I don't have to use my arms to be carrying stuff. So put this on your head. You can find your path. You won't get lost. That kind of stuff. The little solar blankets, these are cool because they're camouflage. I had to hunt long and far to get that. And then I love this stuff. Spears. If you're going to hunt and get animals, you can wrap this on any kind of a stick and gig frogs and, the smaller varmints.